Good afternoon. So I'm back with my Reximex Mito and I'm going to show you how to take the air cylinder off and also how to get into the regulator. Okay, so this is obviously a regulated pistol. Now obviously your power adjuster is there. You have got like a pin in there as well. So I'm not sure how that comes out, but mine did turn okay without taking that out. So if you want to make an adjustment, say if your pistol's shooting too low energy, then you can try and turn that first, but yeah, don't force it. Just put a large flat blade in there and just see if it'll move. Mine turned quite easily without removing that pin there, okay? Which I think is a locking pin, I'm not sure. Right, so what you want to do is probably adjust that first and then adjust your regulator, and that just fine tunes it, okay? Anyhow, to get into your regulator, you've got to remove the cylinder and that just unscrews. Now what I tend to do is I tend to shoot mine down to about 100, release at low pressure. It makes it easy to get it off, and you do lose a bit of air when you remove it. Okay, it's got a little seating valve inside. So I mean, I've shot mine down to about 60 bar at the moment, so I'll just undo this. So yeah, just grab it, unscrew it like so, and just unscrew the cylinder. You'll hear a little hiss. Right, so that's it, just the valve reseating back in the cylinder. So if you look in there, you can see in there, but there's a little valve in there. That's your air cylinder off. Okay, so you can remove it at 250 bar, but obviously it's a bit hard because of the pressure. So I tend to make any adjustments at at low pressure. It makes it easy to remove. Now this is the regulator. This is the locking cap, by the way, for the regulator. It's not the actual regulator adjuster. Initially I thought it was because the actual instructions in the manual are very vague, okay? So it even doesn't even tell you how to actually adjust it. It just doesn't show a close-up picture of this. So this cap here is like a locking cap. So what you really want is a pair of tweezers to remove it. So I've found a pointy tweezers here and I use two of the flats. Like so, and I just unscrew it, just get the thing in, that's it, it's threaded in. And just unscrew it like so. And it's like a little disc with a thread on. It's quite flat, so you lift it off once you've undone it. It can be a bit fiddly. To get back on as well, but once you've taken it off, that's what you've got. Okay, so we put that down there. Now, if you look at the regulator, obviously I've been into this regulator before, had a close look at it. That's the adjuster in there. I know you can see it, but I've actually put a black dot on it before I adjusted it, because obviously there's no way of knowing exactly where the original position was. So you see I've got it slightly turned like anti-clockwise from the vertical bottom. So yeah, if you're going to make adjustments, you need to do it like 3mm wrench or Allen key, but just like small turns, like 1/8 of a turn each way, and then reassemble it and then test it through a chrono. You do need a chronograph to do this, okay? Now, before you make any adjustments to the regulator, and it's the same with a lot of regulators, it's quite important that you remove any residual air from behind the regulator. And it does actually tell you this in the manual, okay? So when you've got it to this stage where you've got the actual air bottle off, you need to dry fire your pistol, okay? So just take the safety off and just dry fire it. I do it about 6 times just to make there's no air behind the regulator. Because if you adjust the regulator in, against the actual Belleville washers, and there's air behind it, you can damage the actual Belleville washers, which obviously damages your regulator. So it's quite important that you dry fire it like that before you make any adjustments. That's very important, okay? So I've got it set like that. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to do a small hammer adjustment, because I know mine actually does turn. I shall recharge it to 250 bar. I shall shoot some heavy pellets through, 18 grain, and as long as they're like 5.5 foot-pounds energy, that'll be fine. And then if it does that through the actual whole fill, then you can, and it's not entirely consistent, then you can make some small regulator adjustments. But you really want to get your energy level right first with your hammer spring, and then make your fine adjustments with your regulator afterwards. Okay, so I hope you like that little video, and to put it all back together, obviously, first of all you need to get your little locking cap on. This could be a bit tricky, but I have done it a few times, so you just pop it on top. It's quite a flat disc. You put it back on with a little dimple at the top. There you go. If you can get it sit on top. And once you get it sitting on top, you can get the thread started. Doing this on camera is probably not the best thing. If you can just, it's like a little disc, you just need to sit it flat so you can engage it with the thread. It's a little flat disc that has threads on it. Obviously you don't want to cross thread this thing. So I think that's got it, I think, yeah, that's it. So yeah, best way is probably sit it flat on top and then use your fingers just to start the thread. Then use your tweezers in the little cutouts to screw it in. And obviously it'll only screw down to where the actual regulator is, so it actually sits against the regulator. Like, it's not all the way in yet. See, I did put a little black dot on that as well, so I know where the stop is. Okay, so like that. And then it's just a case of putting your air cylinder back on. You don't lose any air when you put your cylinder back on. Just make sure it's nice and vertical, so you don't do any cross threading. It's quite a coarse thread. And then screw it down, and then the last little bit you need to get your hands on it and give it a good tweak, and that's it. So it's all back together, and then you can do a dry fire and it works perfectly. Okay, so yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to charge her up and I'm going to put her through the Chrony, put the grip back on, put her through the Chrony and see if she's a bit more consistent. Yeah. And then if she's not, as long as the energy is right, then I can do some adjustments with the regulator. Okay, so I hope you like that little video. It gives you a little bit of insight. I've been on YouTube and I've not found any English like information on this, so I thought I might do a little video and show you how to make any adjustments. But there's certain things I wouldn't touch. I mean, you don't need to touch this unless you're getting that 3-stage trigger position where I've had shown in my previous part of the video. The trigger is now working in a nice, first and second stage. Yeah, you see if I cock it and put the safety off, you'll see that's your nice first stage, and then just squeeze it, and it goes lovely. And yeah, the second stage pull is 3.5 to 4 pounds, but it's manageable. I don't know if there's a way of actually lightening that. I can't find any adjustment that will lighten that load, but yeah, it shoots really well, yeah, we'll get the power right, and then we'll get the consistency right, and then we'll do some target shooting. Yeah, so I hope you like that little video. Take care, and thanks for watching.